So, if you remember the last World Cup, I don't remember which year. Honestly, my mind is a fog right now. But at the last World Cup, I was watching. I think my home team of Cameroon, and there was a moment where um, they had an opportunity, a golden opportunity to score a goal, and they missed it. And as part of the counter attack, the opposite team scored. Of course, the most dangerous time, I think, in pretty much any sports game is the counter attack because you have invested yourself heavily into a particular venue. And if you don't capitalize on that, well, you are literally weakened in that state. So that is literally the most dangerous time for you and the most perfect time for the enemy or the adversary to strike. And I remember when it was happening, when it was developing, when I saw that they missed the shot and I could see that the ball was still in play and that it was going to be a counter attack. At that moment, despite me supporting the team, I thought, you know what? They need to take this L. They need to be scored against. The opposite team needs to score. And the reason I felt that way is because take away my bias aside, take away my my fandom of my particular home team. I think that when you are playing at a world class stage, mistakes should be punished. You know, if I'm watching, I don't know, I guess the equivalent of Little League, then sure, the one team can make a mistake, the opposite team can fail to capitalize on it, they can make a mistake as well. It's a little bit like playing chess. When you play chess at an amateur level, especially at the beginner stage, I mean, if you are someone who plays chess and you have even like anything like a moderate to medium level, you can spot out so many mistakes, and so many missed opportunities when you see amateurs play, right? Like they could probably have scored, or sorry, not have scored, but in this case have checkmated in like 10 moves ago, and the opportunity stayed there for like 7 moves until it was finally closed, and no one saw it, no one did anything about it, and that is the process. But if you are watching a world class, chess, tournament, any mistake that happens needs to be punished immediately because that is the stage that you're on. And I feel that this analogy or this allegory is directly related to how I feel about the closure of Firewalk Studios by PlayStation. At the end of the day, you invested yourself heavily into a particular venue where you thought you were going to capitalize, but you didn't. And so you took a big massive L. So whilst I feel conflicted about the Fireworks Studios closure, and only because I think that there was great talent there, okay? And I'm not talking about the human component, about people losing their jobs. That's never the conversation that I have. But just closing a studio that clearly was proven to have put together a solid package, a well designed game, a well executed game, in an area where you have almost no one else in the space, or at least no one else that has a lot of promising projects. At the moment, I think they have Bungie, they have Haven Studios, and I have no faith in Haven Studios Fair Games. I just don't. And then maybe they have one or two others that I'm forgetting, but that's pretty much it. To take out the entire team, it prevents the learned opportunity from actually setting into the institution. Failure is a great teacher. So the way that I feel is this: if I could have it my way with the information that I have right now, Sony will take the L on Firewalk and Concord, but they will keep them around for the next project. Of course, there are realities that are beyond my capacity to understand because I don't have the facts, data, and statistics in front of me. I don't know how long it was going to take for the next project, how much that will cost, further investment, and obviously, at the end of the day, these are publicly traded companies. And if you go back to them and you're like, yeah, so we just took a massive loss. Okay, it's not going to be 400 million, but whether it's like even a 50 million dollar loss on a particular project with a particular team, and you tell them, hey, we're going to actually double down on them and we're going to invest just as much or even more money into the next project at a publicly traded company from people that honestly do not really care about gaming, that might be a hard sell. I'm not trying to excuse it, but I'm just trying to say that unfortunately, the creatives and the artists quite often do not get a second chance. But at the same time, You played at a world-class level. Listen, if you're part of PlayStation Studios, you are already on the world stage. You don't get to be a part of PlayStation Studios, but then be judged as if you were playing in Little League. Once you're part of PlayStation, you're all top class athletes, or at least you have to perform as that until you become that. You are fake it till you make it, but that pretense has to be convincing. So at the end of the day, I think that it might have been short-sighted from my perspective and what I can see for Sony to have closed Firewalk all the way through, because I would have thought that if they had kept them around and they had learned from their mistakes, they could have created a much better product that could have been successful. But then again, every single time that you kind of step up to the bat, you're not guaranteed, to hit. You're not guaranteed to win. And the truth is, at a world stage, just good enough isn't good enough. Like imagine if they had kept around Firewalk, and then they had a second project. If that project just had middling success, that would be a failure. It will have to then hit it out of the park. Now it will have to be another Destiny. It will have to be another Fortnite. It will have to be another Apex Legends. It will have to have that kind of success to justify the failure of the first project, as well as the continued development on the second, and then the launch of that, so on and so forth. So maybe the probabilities were just too insurmountable. So it is what it is. They've closed now. It will be interesting to see what Sony does with their future projects. But I will say this, as a gamer, as a person that is looking into Sony's live service efforts right now, I am not encouraged by this response. Ubisoft, as terrible a publisher as they are, they have had numerous projects of theirs, especially in the live service arena, that came out to, at best, a middling reception, and then they eventually stuck to them, and then they were able to build them and release, not release them, but rather update, release patches and everything until they became fairly successful in the arenas. So it's like that, and I would have hoped that Sony would have taken a similar approach. Concord could just be a one of those one-off things, but it could also mark the way for which, or the attitude towards, the disposition that Sony has towards its live service efforts. And if that is kind of like the short-tempered lack of patience and grace and forgiveness for these projects, not only do I expect them to fail, because remember, we always expected this project to fail, perhaps not as spectacularly as Concord did, but we did expect failure. But it also kind of puts it into a position where it's like, whilst I was reassured that they gave us our money back, what happens if there's a game that is just middling? Are they going to stick to it? Are they going to put their hearts and soul behind it? Or are they just going to abandon it, whether it's quickly or later? But then, what did I invest for? What did I invest that time for? Because they paid me my money back on Concord, right? But I didn't get my hours back. Like I didn't get my time back. And listen, I still miss Concord. I thought it was a good game. I really do. I would play it to this day if it was available. But there's nothing. There's no recompense there. There's no like, what am I gonna do? So I can say that I'm quite discouraged from the gamer's perspective. So I'm going to have to wait now, for the next project that I might be excited to buy. It's not Fair Games. Let's say it's Marathon, just for the sake of it, because I can't think of any other project that they have. Let's say it's Marathon, and I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is looking good, and oh my god, it even has a more typical traditional multiplayer element, which is what really sold me on Concord. Even it has all that, I'm gonna have to wait quite a few weeks to see the audience reception, to be like, okay, well, is this game going to be here in 2 weeks? Is this game going to be here in 2 months? Is this game going to be still be updated and believed and everything into after 2 years? Clearly, with Helldivers 2, that will be true. But how do we know about the future projects? The truth is, we don't, and that's discouraging. Okay. Lots more could be said there, but I want to move forward, okay? I have a lot of topics in mind that I wanted to cover. And one of my faults when it comes to this whole content creation stuff is that I do a lot of content planning in my head. and I'm like, oh, this will go well with this. But then by the time that I come around to do it, I'm no longer excited about these things because they've been weighing on my mind so much. So we're just going to try to kind of clear the back order, of my mind to get these topics out of the way. And so we can just have a good bit of a chat, So it's going to be more of a variety show today. One thing I want to talk about, we just talked about PlayStation, so let's talk about Xbox. And I wanted to react to a Kidsmoove video that he did, okay? And basically, his title was, Should You Move On From Xbox? Now, he released a 25-minute video. I would feel a little bit like a pirate if I were to just show the entire 25-minute video. So what I would do is I'll put it in the description. You will see a part of it here, but please go on to the original video, click it, see the whole context, because you might be saying I took something out of context. So, just go ahead and do that so that it is the most fair for him as a creator and for us as an audience. We get to hear his full perspective. But I did want to go through it together just because I thought it was such a fascinating moment for me. So you know what, since I find it fascinating, I'm going to believe that you find it fascinating too. Let's listen here. We're going to start at 2 minutes 49, okay, and we're just going to listen to what he has to say.
When I stream, now and then I get questions and people what do you say to somebody who who wants to invest in Xbox, or if you're an Xbox gamer, where do you go from here, right? So should you move on from Xbox? Should you continue with Xbox? Me personally, I'm in a situation where I'm essentially married to the brand.
So first, I like that answer. He talks about his personal situation, and he's going to expand on it a little bit. And by the way, I have him at 1.25 speed. So if you're thinking to yourself, like, he's talking a little bit faster than usual, I just find it a little bit more pleasant to listen to people a little bit faster. Normally I have it at 1.5 speed, but some people could be like speeding me up. So then the speed up on top of the speed up, this should still be manageable for you. So yeah, but I like his answer because first he's going to explain his particular perspective, which I think is like super important to give to people.
And I'm married to the brand until it ceases to exist. And when I say married to the brand, I don't mean like, oh, it's just Xbox. I'm married to the ecosystem. I'm too invested into the ecosystem. So I have 20 years of Xbox, still that exists on my series consoles. So there's not a situation, there will never be a situation where I will sell my Xbox Series X, because 90% of the games I own are digital, or plus that, are in there tied to my account. So me getting rid of the console doesn't really do me any favors.
Actually, this is 100% true. If you have, an extensive library, especially a digital one, that is on Xbox, while the first-party games are available on PC, and perhaps you can make that switch easily because you can combine that with Game Pass, the rest of your third-party games on Xbox do not transfer over to PC. And even if you could find them for cheap, your saves wouldn't necessarily transfer over. So he's right. Like, especially as a console gamer, which he is, there's never really a world in which he should sell an Xbox. So that makes sense to me. And this is actually exactly why I think that Microsoft should keep making consoles, not only to sell them Game Pass, but to also take out their legacy users who have thousands of dollars. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in the Xbox ecosystem digitally, which means none of that can go with them. If it was at least physical, then they could try to sell them off at half price, maybe get like $30,000 to $40,000 back. But when you have $100,000 invested into your Xbox, I'm not saying that this is smooth, by the way, but just as an example, if you have $100,000 invested into your Xbox digitally, man, it's going to be hard to leave all of that behind. Not to mention your saves, because even if you go to PlayStation, even if you get to a PlayStation Plus, you still have saves that you spend hundreds of hours on that are not transferring over. That's hard. That's hard as a person, like he said, that is married to the ecosystem.
The thing is, though, so I would never really go from get rid of my Xbox, and put it and switch to PlayStation. I will always have a PlayStation. I'll buy a PlayStation. I can go a generation without a PlayStation because I'm not a core PlayStation fan. I'm buying the PS5 Pro. Again, I would have bought a Xbox Series X equivalent if they put it out, no matter the cost at this point. Because I like the console business is my preferred way to play, and I like moving the industry forward. Though.
So this is the part where I like it up to. I like this because all of this has been truthful, right? Every single part of it is 100% true. He's not a PlayStation gamer. He doesn't need a PlayStation every generation. He gets it because he likes a few titles from PlayStation, but that's okay. That's 100% fine. If he didn't play Spider-Man 2 or any of those other games, I don't think he would die or feel bad about it. He just would skip those games until like he gets the next PlayStation, whether that's the 6 or the 7 or the 6 Pro or whatever, and then he could just catch up with the backlog. You know, it's fine, it's whatever. So I completely understand his perspective and I agree with him. And also, I agree with that point. It's so important to note that people, you know, go after the price of PlayStation 5 Pro. But if Xbox had done the equivalent, whether it was more, slightly less, or most likely the same, people will buy it. And the price point is not an issue, guys. Even as a person that right now, I can't buy a PlayStation 5 Pro right now today. I've got other things I want to do, and those things are taking my money away. It's 100% fine, right? But the box exists now. Now it is a thing I can acquire anytime in the next 10 years, right? Like I can choose to have it at any moment. I am glad that it exists so that I can then, whenever it becomes most convenient for me, most available for me, most possible for me, and I have the desire for it, I can just get it. It's a different thing when you are on the Xbox side and you wish Xbox had created such a box, you know? Even if the Xbox, let's call it Elite, was going to cost like $1,000, at least it would exist. At least you could save up for it. You could be like $100 every month, or you could be like $50 every month, and eventually you'll get it, right? Like that's the thing for me that I don't understand when people fix it on the price of something. I'm just glad the item exists, man. Because if I want the item and it exists, then I can contend with the price on my own, kind of like on my own turf, you know, with my own, like my own mission statement, you know. I can bring the price home to my situation under my understanding and my value system, and then I can, you know, juxtapose that versus my economic situation, my financial situation, my desire to even expend that much money, and then I can make that work. I can solve it on my turf, on my terms. That's the thing. The price thing, I can solve on my terms. The existence of the product, I can't solve it. Listen, I was talking to the other day on Podworks podcast, and I was talking to J-Dub, and I was taking the example of the Sony high-end cameras that have a horrible screen in the back, okay? And I was like, the frustrating thing for me about Sony is that they have all of the divisions that they will need to give me the camera system that I would want, which is give me a camera that has, like, for the high-end one especially, has a really good screen at the back, as well as a few other things that I will put in there, but whatever, right? And JW is talking to me about how it would be a lot more expensive in this, and I think it was, you know, was pushing the envelope at how expensive it would need to cost. But anyways, even if it was like a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 camera, at that price point, that's just a few more months of saving up for me. If I'm paying for a $4,000 camera, I can afford a $5,000 camera. Do you get what I mean? Like if I'm paying for a $4,000 camera, I can get a $5,000 camera, because a $5,000 camera at that point is just a $4,000 camera with a few extra months of saving on top of that. I can do that. You know, if I can't afford a $4,000 camera, I can't get a $6,000. It's never gonna happen. You know, like it's not gonna happen. But you know, it's like, it's one of those things. So for me, it's like, I just want the product to exist. Right now, if I have $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 for a camera, I can't get a Sony camera because it will need to work with my Sony lenses, right? That has an amazing screen at the back, that has all of the features that I have these cameras for and everything like that, and gives me the experience that I would want. It just doesn't exist. Money cannot solve that problem for me. And even if money could, I can't solve it on my terms because I'm not a camera engineer. I'm not a camera company. I do not design sensors. So that's what I mean. Once the product exists, it's a good thing for you as a consumer, whether or not you're interested. Because whenever you become interested, if ever you should, now at least all you have to work out is just the financial problem. For some of us, that financial problem is easier to solve than others, okay? And sometimes you don't want to spend that money, but at least the ball is in your court and it's up to you to do with it what you will. So I agree with Smooth there, and I think it was so important for him to mention that Xbox players would be happy if they had an Xbox, no matter an Xbox equivalent to the Pro, an Xbox Elite, no matter the price, you know, because then at least they will get to choose. So we're going to return now. We're going to skip ahead a little bit because, like I said, I don't want to show all of his content. You go ahead and you make sure to go to the video.
Out of, And my thing is, it's like when you look at PlayStation, is that they're all in on console. They have a strong first-party output consistently, and they have a strong third-party output. So either way, they always continuously get exclusive and stuff. If stuff like that matters to you, like, yo, who has a? I want to go to the place where they have the games, and that those games don't exist on other platforms. Then yeah, I would say you might want to move over to PlayStation, right?
So I find that to be a little bit of a misconception. As a PlayStation gamer, I don't go to PlayStation because they have games that don't exist on other platforms. I go to PlayStation because they have the games I want. The fact that those games don't exist to other platforms, that's what other people should worry about. If you want to play Spider-Man and you don't have a PlayStation, that's your problem. Like, it's not mine. I went to the place that had the games that I wanted. So again, are exclusives important? Absolutely, yes. They define the brand, they give you a value proposition. But when PlayStation goes and gets exclusive titles from third party, especially, right? People think that, oh, I'm happy because it's not on Xbox. I don't care that it's not on Xbox. I'm happy that it's on my console. You know, like, think about it. When you go and you, let's say you get a business class ticket. Are you getting a business class ticket because you want the business class experience? Or are you getting a business class ticket because other people can't have it? Are you like, oh yeah, if I book this seat, that's one less person that's going to enjoy it besides me? Like, no, you don't care about what the other people do. If they could all get business class tickets, it would be great. Like, if business class, the experience, was available for every economy seat, wouldn't that be wonderful? Would you really care that now it is democratized? No, you just be like, well, this is a better experience. I don't have to squishing with people. You're just doing the thing that pleases you. You're just glad that you get access to that privilege. That's all I care about. Like when, let's see, when Kenna Bridge of Spirits was on PlayStation, I played it, I liked it, I enjoyed it. People say, oh, you played it because it's exclusive. No, I played it because it's good, because I'm interested in it. I play plenty of third-party games, and most of the time, I don't even check whether those games are on Xbox or not. I just like, are they on my platform? Are they there for me to enjoy if I choose to partake in them? And most of the time, for a lot of these games, the answer is yes. And when the game is exclusive to Xbox, especially as a third-party exclusive, I don't care that it's an Xbox exclusive. Good, you have that solution. I care, when's it coming to me? Because I'm not going to go and buy an Xbox. I don't want an Xbox. I'm not going to work for those games. They will come to me. And the thing is, I happen to be on the platform that has the most users and the most pool and everything. And that is a good place to be. Like, imagine if you live in a city and your city has access to wealth. Therefore, it can put in talent from people. It has the stadiums, it has the shows, it has the public transport infrastructure, it has good quality roads. And then eventually you find out that, oh, okay, that band had a performance in that city over there 2 hours away, okay? But that city is not as good as ours. You know, like, the stadium's not as nice, the venue's not as good, the sound system's not as great. Like, ours is a brand spanking new thing. And you think to yourself, well, okay, if they were able to have a performance over there, they're eventually going to come over here. There's more money here, there's more people here, we're all going to like them more here, they're going to get better treatment over here. Obviously, you're just going to, why would I move 2 hours away just to attend this concert at a shadier venue? No, I'm just going to wait until you come at my doorstep, and then I'm going to enjoy your concert right where I am. So if I was an Xbox guy, the thing to note is that I would remember that people on PlayStation aren't happy to play exclusives because I don't get to play. They're happy to play exclusives because they like those games. That's why some exclusives do better than others. Because every PlayStation exclusive, right? Let's take console exclusive, is barred from Xbox. So if we were just motivated by the fact that Xbox players don't get to play them, every single exclusive will sell tremendously well. You know, almost the same amount. But that's not it. We are just interested in the game that we are getting. And that's why there's varying levels of interest between the people in the PlayStation community. Some games like Rise of the Ronin, they get, let's say, a middling amount of success. Some games, Like Stray, get a little bit more. I think Stray, even though it was offered on PlayStation Plus, it probably made more money than Rise of the Ronin, to be honest. Other games like the Final Fantasy games, they get what we would call a tremendous amount of success, and Square Enix would call a huge disappointment. And then finally, the first party games, they get all of the bells and whistles. They are like the home team from the rich part of town, the rich city, where they had the best facilities, and their fans are like super, super crazy happy about them. And the performance usually is something to behold and something to be lauded. So that is basically the situation. PlayStation gamers are not happy that Xbox gamers don't get to play their games. PlayStations are happy that they themselves get to play the game they're interested in. Otherwise, Dreams would have sold a gangbusters, but it didn't because most PlayStation gamers were not interested in Dreams. So there we go. Let's go ahead and talk about the next part, okay? Now, this part here, I've got to say, is a little bit funny, so let's enjoy it together.
As far as if you are now the ecosystem, if you're somebody chasing power, right? And you've been on Xbox Live, if you're a person that's, went from the 1 to the 1X to the Series X, and you're just, you're an Xbox fan, but you're also chasing power, and you're losing confidence, your self-esteem is low because the PS5.
This guy said you're losing confidence and your self-esteem is low.
About the Pro's about to come out, and obviously it's gonna have the better performance metrics, and then you also, are being hit with the whole Xbox porting their games over to PlayStation because Xbox can't seem to like compete the way we would prefer them to compete. This case, I still don't think it's a lost cause for you because at this point you have to look back and say,
I'm sorry, he said he said your self-esteem is low. Oh my god, can you believe tying your self-esteem? Like you come home, you're talking to your wife or your girlfriend or your partner or your roommate or whatever, and I'm like, damn man, how did that work? You're like, nah man, it was great, I actually got a promotion. They're like, oh, that's great. How much? Oh, $30,000 more. But you look so downtrodden. Did you expect more? Nah, I didn't even expect it. Then what's wrong? Why are you looking so sad? It's just, man, it's Xbox, man. It's just my self-esteem is low. They're not coming up with an Xbox Elite. I'm gonna lose the power narrative, which I never had, but still. Now it's even worse. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, listen, Xbox fans. If your self-esteem is indeed low for whatever reason, okay, I'm never gonna mock it. Just get a PlayStation 5 Pro, bro. Just do it. Just do it. Yes, you could get a PC, and PC has its own advantages. And in fact, Kidsmoove is going to talk a lot about some of the advantages that you have on PC. But man, just get the Pro. Just get the thing that you want. Like at a certain point, you just gotta be like at a certain point in every adult's life, you've got to be like, I want that. And I'm gonna get that. That's it. You see that girl, and she's just walking, doing her life, living, and you just happen to stumble upon her. But it's just something about her aura, her energy, her vibe. You're just like, damn, I want that. And from that point on, you just better yourself. You just do what you can to give yourself the best shot at what you actually want. There's no point going, I want that, and then actually you go and you get someone else. It's just, you won't be happy. Also, going to pause the recording and have a phone call. Yeah, it's one of those busy days for me today. This might actually happen quite a few more times. I might still get a few more calls. So in any case, where was I? I was doing something, saying something. I was talking about Kidsmoove and the fact that he felt so downtrodden by this. Get a PlayStation. Get a PlayStation Pro. Get a PlayStation 5 Pro. It's what you want. It's what you want. You just say that if Xbox had done it. Listen, I have a Sony camera, right? I will say this. The investment in the photography ecosystem is a lot more money than the investment in gaming hardware and everything like that. Like I said, gaming, the people that think that gaming is expensive are the same people who don't have any actual expensive hobbies. But photography is an expensive hobby, or in my case, an expensive profession, whatever. But in any case, let's just say that I had the money, the ability, I could sell my lenses very quickly, sell my bodies very quickly. But in this case, Canon came out with the camera that I want, right? I would just get that camera, guys. I would just get that one. That's it. There's no loyalty to these things. These are just products. They are tools to give me whatever thing I want to achieve. In gaming, it's enjoyment. In photography, it's more artistic creativity and everything like that. But the point is, I'm not married to the tool itself or the ecosystem to which the tool belongs. If a competitor gave me what I actually wanted, and that was the thing that I wanted, I wouldn't look to like PC or like medium format cameras in the photography case. I would just get that camera because it exists now, and that will be within my ability to get it. I'd just get it. Just get the PS5 Pro, bro. If you're the person he's talking about, just get the PS5 Pro.
Look at it this way, right? Sure, you can go over to PlayStation 5 Pro and start over, or be
which you should
for another brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this case, I say you probably are better off just moving to PC. If you can't wait for that, if you want to contend with the PlayStation 5 Pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
As an Xbox,
yeah.
I know this sounds ridiculous, but I have to break it down like this.
It does sound like ridiculous.
You are better off going to the PC route if you want to maintain the power narrative.
See, here's the thing for me. Why are you in contention with the PS5 Pro? Why is it a competition with the PS5 Pro? Even as an Xbox gamer, why are you, like, for example, me, I recognize that PlayStation is in competition with Sony. So PlayStation is in competition with Sony. PlayStation is in competition with Xbox. They're in competition with Xbox for my money. They fight for me. I don't fight for them. I'm not against an Xbox. I just don't see the point of it. I don't see a single thing desirable about it, especially now that they have no exclusives, you know. But it's whatever. It's been this way. I've never owned an Xbox, so I guess you can say for the last 20 years, I've never seen the point in me personally getting an Xbox. I will say that the argument was stronger during the Xbox 360 generation, but that was also the generation where I had the least amount of control as to what I actually got at the end of the day. My parents bought me a PlayStation 2. They understood that I liked PlayStation, so guess when the PlayStation 3 came out, they were going to buy me the PlayStation 3. There wasn't ever going to be like, oh, you have this new system, but I didn't come from that household. That kind of household where you just kind of make those financial decisions. It was like, okay, we got you this, you liked it, now you know, it's a little bit when your mom goes to the market and one time she brings home like a guava, you know, or a papaya, or, you know, any other like grapes or something, and you eat it up. Oh my God, you just devour through it. Now, 7 years later, she still brings home way too many guavas and way too many papayas and way too many grapes because she didn't understand that after the first 2 times, you were kind of done with it. She's just like, nope, this is what you like. I'm going to give you more of it. So my parents were like, hey, you like PlayStation? When it was time, you were going to get more PlayStation. Now, obviously, that also happened to align in this case with my preference, so I wasn't complaining, but there was no way I was going to switch to the Xbox 360 when I didn't have the money to pay for one. So anyways, for the last 20 years, I haven't found any reason to go to Xbox, but I'm not in competition with Xbox. I'm not against people that have an Xbox. My thing is, I believe that these people, on certain people on the Xbox side, are placing themselves in competition with PlayStation itself. I remember Team Dog, he said that even though he had the PS5 since 2020, I think, okay, I may be getting some of these details wrong, but he had the PS5 for a long time, but he refused to play it because he was afraid that the experience on PlayStation 5 would be so much better than his Xbox, and it would therefore make his Xbox look weak. Do you hear the logic there? And a lot of people feel this way. I'm not even like singling out Team Dog because it's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is that in that case, you are placing yourself in competition with the product. So again, Kidsmoove goes like, okay, if you want to contend with the power of the PS5 Pro, you make sure that you go to PC. Why? Why are you trying to put yourself in competition with the PS5 Pro? Just get the PS5 Pro. That's what you want. Right? Like, you don't want a PC. If you want a PC, get a PC. Like, if you want a PC, get a PC because you want a PC. Don't get a PC because you want to prove to someone, not even just yourself, that you're more powerful than PS5 Pro. Why are you being in contention with it? Why are you comparing yourself to it? If you want to get a PC because you love PC, or because you're interested by PC, or because you think you like PC. It doesn't matter. Get it for any other reason than, haha, I want to be better than PS5 Pro. Just get a PC, right? Or if you're a console player and you want a more powerful console than what the PS5 and the Series X have on offer, there is a product that exists for you, and that's the PS5 Pro. Right now, it's the only product. If in the future Xbox does surprise us and they come up with an Xbox Series Elite, right? Get that one because it will always be in line with your preferences and it will be a more powerful version than the Series X. But listen, as individuals, don't put yourself up against the brand. Don't put yourself up against the product. It's silly. These are tools for you to have enjoyment. If you, especially when you've already bought the product, so many people are so proud. You know, they're on the Xbox side and they will say things like, I have a PS5 and it's collecting dust. And for me, I'm like, why are you saying that proudly? If you have a piece of electronics that is sitting there doing nothing, sell it. Get your money back or at least part of it back, you know, especially now that, you know, there has so many amazing trade-ins for the PlayStation 5 and like a GameStop. Jesus Christ. If I had been in America, I would have sold my PlayStation 5, at least in anticipation for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Are you kidding? At some point, you were getting $410 back. That is ridiculous. That means you would have had $90 for 4 years of ownership. Complete enjoyment. And you don't have to put it on Facebook Marketplace where you can get scammed or this or that, or it might take a while to sell. Just instant. You walk in the door, you walk out with $400 and change. That was crazy deal. That was a crazy deal. But even now, it's like, what, $350 or something? Still worth doing. Especially if it's just collecting dust. Get your money back. Put it towards something else that you like. Like put it towards snorkeling or fishing or campfire stuff like camping and crap. Go and enjoy those things. Because if it's not serving you, why are you bragging that you just have like, I don't know, in that case, paperweights just collecting dust? Why? It's not a brag. Like imagine me. I don't like Xbox and I don't like the Xbox ecosystem. I don't like the Xbox controller. I mean, I don't mind it. It's fine, but I don't like the asymmetric layout. I don't like the I don't like the Xbox first party games for the most part. So why would I get why would I get an Xbox? Why would I get an Xbox? Just it can collect dust so I can be like, haha, I have an Xbox too, haven't done it in 2 years. That just means you're dumb. That just means you're not financially literate. Go ahead and get the product that you enjoy and get rid of things that are, you know, that past due or you're not feeling or you're not into anymore. You know, don't be a hoarder. And don't just be like, oh, I have all the consoles, but I only play one. Or I have all the consoles, but I play on PC. Then get rid of the consoles. Like, why are you having things in your house that don't serve you? You do know that, right? Everything that you bring in your house as an adult is meant to serve you. It's meant to just fulfill a function or to bring you joy or to bring you enjoyment or to push you or to motivate you or to enable you to do something that you're actually interested in doing. If you're not interested in it, get rid of it. It's just an object. I'm not going to feel bad that you have a PlayStation that's just being wasted. I'm just going to be like, man, that's kind of sad. You know, just set it on. Let it find a home where it will actually bring enjoyment to people, you know? Like me, for example, I have a lot of books and I feel bad that I can't lend these books after I'm done with them. I love lending books because books are meant to be read. Objects are meant to be used. I think they have a soul. I really do. I think that everything that we have, everything that we touch, everything that we create, it has a soul and it wants to perform its function. It wants to be used. It wants to bring you joy. It wants to enable you to like trace rulers or to draw or whatever it is. Like it's not just there to sit pretty unless its purpose is decor, in which case it wants to beautify a space or it wants to like embellish the smell or the music or the audio experience of a place. Like, but the thing is, the thing wants to perform its duty, right? If you just have it there idle, it's sad. It brings misery into your home. Sell your PlayStation 5 if you're not using it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Let it find a good home. You know, even if the home is a landfill. If you can't be forced, like, take it to like anyone. Just take it to like a charity or something, and let it find another home. Man, come on, man. Don't be like that. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna skip a little bit forward in the video. I think the next timestamp that I have written here is around here. So let's go back to the video and let's listen.
Sort of like time. Upgrade to a PC because yeah, Xbox can throw out a console, and obviously the rumor is Xbox is doing a console and a handheld. At that point in time, even if you upgrade to a PC, because I think that both the console and the handheld is going to be fairly expensive because the handheld has to has to be powerful, right? Even if you did that, right? You on PC for a couple years, Xbox drops their handheld console. Their handheld will probably also a recommended pickup just to play on the go and still have that continuity between console, PC, cloud, and mobile. The continuity is going to be there.
I hope it is true. I really do. I think that if Xbox were to create a handheld, especially one that has some kind of local or native play, it will push the industry, especially, to create a handheld with the same capacity. I've been playing on my Portal this week heavy. I think, man, this week I've had the time, but it's mostly because I'm in Zoom meetings, and let's be honest, they don't always require me to be paying attention 100%. So my Portal, man, it's been great. I've been playing Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White. Man, that's gonna kick my ass. Wrath of the White Witch remastered. Okay, that's what I've been playing, and it's just been such a joy. It's the perfect game for a Portal, you know. And what I think to myself is, could this game run on a native handheld device? Okay, again, I think that a handheld should be a hybrid approach. I think that light games should be allowed to run on it. Like, think about mobile games. Like, I've been playing Monument Valley on my tablet as well. That's been really successful. Really love that game. I've been playing Nino Kuni, you know, but I don't expect a Horizon Forbidden West to run on the tablet, you know. Maybe it could natively, but we have too many compromises. I don't even want it to. Just stream that one. I think a hybrid tablet is perfect. Light games, let them run natively, great. Heavier games, let them be streamed from your console or from the cloud, and that will be your experience, and that will give you so much joy. I think if Xbox does a handheld, instead of taking the whole MSI claw approach where everything is trying to run native on it, I think they should go for a hybrid approach. I think that there is a perfect balance, because then you're not asking your developers for the heavier games to go back and optimize them, nor are you asking that for the lighter games, you know. So for me, again, create a section in the store, give it a label to say that, hey, this thing is Xbox handheld certified, you know, or Xbox handheld native. Okay, cool. Now people know I can download this to the hardware, I can play it from the hardware, it can all be offline, everything's good to go. And then for most games, let them know that they can stream to the handheld from their console or from the cloud, and that would be the perfect hybrid. And I think if they did that, PlayStation would respond in kind, and that would just be great for everybody.
So, should you move on from Xbox? Yes and no. It depends on what you care about. If it's this exclusive thing, you go to PC, because PC is going to get everybody's games, regardless. You can earn PlayStation trophies on PC, you can earn Xbox achievements on PC, and you can get your own Steam achievements on PC. You can play with every launcher, every game. You have the marketplace on PC is better because games go on sale more frequently. You could bargain your way to a decent library.
I have to say that people people kind of exaggerate a little bit about the Steam sales. But here's the thing. If a game is, like, let's say 5+ years old, Steam sales are golden. Like, they are, but they used to be better in the past. That's one thing I will say. Like, when Steam had these big sales in the past, dude, those were like Amazon Prime Day level deals. They were great. Games were like $2, and I'm talking Australian dollars, which is like 50 cents in America. You know, that was great. I don't think it's like that anymore, at least not in my experience. But here's the thing. When a game is fairly new, usually you're getting like 20% off if you use like CD keys or certain websites. They're still legitimate keys and everything like that. But you're not getting like a brand new $70 game for $7 on day one. You know, like, people kind of push Steam a little bit far in that regard. And then in that case, if a game is already 5+ years old, I'm sorry, but if you're a person that doesn't mind getting physical games, you can match on console with console games. You can match Steam sales, not 1-to-1, because they typically offer just a huge range of games, but you can match them, you know, quite well, you know. So, you know, the difference between paying, let's say, a Assassin's Creed game, $12 on Steam, maybe you could get like $15-16 for like a physical copy of, you know, of the thing, and of the thing on the console. So it's only $4 difference, and it's not that much, and you're getting the physical disc, which means you can sell it, you can pass it on, so on and so forth. So eventually, if you sell it again, it can actually come down to be cheaper than the Steam sell. But here's the thing that Steam has: Steam will have that one game and then millions more at a really super discounted price. Whereas you may have to shop around, you may have to go on Marketplace or on GameStop or on this or on that. So there's ways to be economical with both platforms, but again, I feel like the Steam sales is a little bit of a misnomer because people think that it means that they're going to get a super high discount every time they get a brand new game. You typically can get a discount, but you still have to work for it because you have to go to like CD Keys, or you have to maybe use a different launcher or a different store that you would then integrate into Steam and everything like that. There is a process there. One thing I wanted to say also is that PC doesn't have the full ecosystem from Xbox, because like we talked about earlier, it doesn't have the support for third-party games. If you're an Xbox customer and you are happy that Microsoft has extended their ecosystem to PC, understand that it is the Microsoft ecosystem, it's not the Xbox ecosystem, because the Xbox ecosystem would kind of suggest to you that any game that you have on Xbox, regardless of who makes it, who the publisher is, you're able to find the equivalent on PC, and you're able to have access to it as well automatically. That doesn't work. Microsoft has made that decision, other people have not. So you will still lose your saves, you will still lose access to your titles, you still lose your library, unless it is a Microsoft first party library. So listen, I wouldn't discourage anyone from gaming on PC. Game wherever you think you're interested in gaming, but we have to have honest conversations. And the thing about this video is that ultimately, it is from a console gamer's perspective that wants more power than what is offered by the current generation of consoles as they are. That product exists. That product is the PlayStation 5 Pro. I think it would have been better and more honest to say, hey, if you want this, tweet at Xbox, tweet at Phil Spencer, tweet at Sarah Bond, and say, we want you to do the same for us. This is one thing that I have always found with the Xbox community that I'm disappointed by. They don't say what they actually want. People will say like, oh, I want great first party exclusives. Oof, no, but not like Sony. Yes, you do. You want a Horizon. You want a God of War. You want a GT7. Say it with your chest. Say it. Say, I want this. Give me that. Give me the equivalent of that. And then when they have just a little bit of a sign, just say a tiny smidgen of a hope that they can get to those heights that PlayStation gamers experience regularly, or you see how they go out of pocket for it. Like, remember they thought Starfield was going to be good? Remember Hellblade 2? You look at the hype they're going to have for Fable and Perfect Dark. By the way, Fable and Perfect Dark look like great projects that I'm personally interested in. Gears E-Day looks fantastic. But again, look, you want the Sony kind of games. Like, you want those games. If those were made by PlayStation Studios, a PlayStation first party, would you be surprised? Would you be surprised that the Gears E-Day was made by a PlayStation first party developer? Would you be surprised that the Fable was being made by a PlayStation developer? Would you be surprised that the Perfect Dark was being made by a first-person developer? No, you wouldn't be. Those are Sony-like games. They marry great graphics, great gameplay, and a great storyline, or at least that is the promise that they are bringing forward, right? You want those games. Just say that. If they are bringing it to you now, in 2025, 2026, and it's been like 10 years since you've had a regular diet of those kind of games, maybe if you had said this in 2014, 2015 and kept repeating it, you would have gotten them a lot sooner. Maybe you have gotten them at the launch of the Xbox Series, and that would have completely changed the trajectory of this particular generation of consoles. Say what you want. Right now, as an Xbox gamer, you want a more powerful console. Just say that. Don't say I want PC. Don't say, oh, I don't want this $700. No, just say this is what I want. Give it to me. You see me, I love my Sony cameras. I really, really do. I think they are some of the best in the industry. I want more. And I don't go to Sony like, oh, don't give me that, or oh, don't give me the... No, I just like, I want this. Put your technology that I know you have from other sectors, put them in your camera. PlayStation Link should be built into the cameras. All of these things, Put them in there. Give me what I want, because I want to say clearly, this is what I want. Give it to me. I'm not gonna go to like Canon and be like, oh, you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that, or your camera shouldn't cost this much. Leicas are expensive cameras. They are expensive lenses. They are Hasselblad, bro. Bro, $30,000 for a camera body. I don't go to them and tell them that their cameras aren't worth that much. They have their own fan base, their own service, their own professionals, their own photographers that are super enthusiastic about them. I let them have that. But when it comes to the ecosystem that I'm in, I'm going to my manufacturer and be like, hey, you've got to give me better. Yeah, sometimes I look over the other side, I'm like, yeah, borrow that feature, bring it over here. But at least I say it with my chest. I say it directly. This is what I want. I don't say go to PC. I don't. I'm not going to become a painter over my desire for photography. No, I'm going to ask for the thing that I want. So listen, Xbox gamer. If you are the person about whom Kidsmoove was talking, and you want yourself a PlayStation 5 Pro, go and at the very least tell Xbox you want them to create an equivalent. Even if they don't do it, you be 100% about it. At least you said it. At least you said it. At least they know that to keep you happy, they need to create that thing for you. At least it will be out there. Then, if you choose to, don't go to PC because you don't want PC. Because if you're talking about this and you want a more powerful console, PC is not a console. It doesn't solve your issue. Don't get an MSI Claw or a Lenovo Legion. Don't get those things. Get yourself a PS5 Pro. Get what you actually want. Then sell it and use that money that you have left over to buy your next Xbox, which would be a more powerful Xbox than you have now. There you go. That is the best, most honest way to have this discussion. And that's what I wanted to have with you guys. And I'm hoping that I get to give you another video fairly soon talking about the other things that I wanted to talk about, because there's actually been quite a few moments that have happened that I think are going a little bit under the radar that I personally want to tackle. So yeah, I will see you next time. I'm honestly like super anxious that another person is going to call me right now. So I'm just going to get out of here real quickly because I hate interrupting the video. So sorry about that. I hope that next time we can have an uninterrupted moment. Maybe I should just stick to that shooting these videos at night. But yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic time and let me know what you thought of the conversation.